Hi, it's just Leon here, and in this clip I'm just going to be reflecting on a few things that I've encountered recently. Now, if you've seen my YouTube page and looked at the sort of clips I do, you will see that I have the belief that this earth, in this world, is no longer Malkuth in Assiah, but rather Lilith in Tohu. The tree of death is complete. Now, as I used to be a theistic Satanist, I will tell you that when the plan was for this earth to be taken by the Satan, that things initially would not change, but very slowly will. And when I look at what's going on around me, I'm starting to recognize the things that I was told about. Now, I'll give you these stories. The first one, a guy I know, he's not a friend, he's more of a occasional associate, though I had very little to do with him. He declared himself to be transsexual. He got the estrogen injections, he's got a set of tits now. And I asked him, are you just a queer, a poofter? And he said, no, not really. He said, I just woke up one morning and decided I was going to be a woman. So I asked questions like, well, how did this come about? You don't just wake up and decide you're the opposite gender. And I asked him, were you touched up as a kid? Or were you just gay? He said, no, my life growing up was pretty normal. Nothing like that happened to me. And not gay per se, there's some doubts when I was growing up, but nah. And he couldn't explain it. I said, well, do you have sex with men? He goes, I tried it a couple of times, but no, I just like having sex with other transsexuals. No reason, no logic behind it, just something he felt like. Then another associate, not a friend, just someone I occasionally bump into. He was the most, what you'd say, pro-Christian, anti-Zionist, what you call typical blue-collar middle class. Anyway, he disappeared for about a month or two. No word from him whatsoever, but like I said, he's only associate. And he came back on the scene and decided he was pro-Jewish. He's singing happy songs about Jews. He also declared that men are gods The only thing is we follow a bigger god, but men are gods. And he's decided to become a day trader in like stocks, penny stocks, pump and dump. And to top it all off, no, it's not to top it all off, got two more to mention. With the marriage with, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, came across this guy. I wouldn't even describe him as an associate. He's just an arsehole who knows someone that I know, sort of thing. And so someone mentioned, Harry and Meghan are getting married. And he shrilled out, "It's about time. Now this is progress. And now we got a nigger in Buckingham Palace." And I didn't really want to ask the guy anything. I can't stand a bar of him. And he's not someone I associate with anyway. But this happened at a social function. And this guy was boasting about this. And he was quite happy, it's like, I've got a Jewish wife who's upper class. This guy, I suppose you'd say, comes under upper class. Because I got a Jewish wife and Harry's married a nigger. And this guy works in a legal fraternity, has about 3 or 4 sports cars, a real high roller, so to speak. And as I understand it, his legal work is centered around refugee, open borders sort of stuff. And yet here he is saying, "Oh, we got a nigger into Buckingham Palace. I'm the better person. My family's better than his." And the final one, a guy I knew. When I first encountered him, he was a very devout Catholic. What you call the old school Catholic. And in Australia we had a plebiscite on gay marriage. As long as I knew this guy, he was, against gays, against puffs. And yet, when the plebiscite started rolling, he was saying, "Oh, we've got to have gay marriage, we've got to have gay marriage." And I'm wondering, from these 4 people that I knew, certainly don't know them now, what has changed? What has made people like this become the reverse of what they are, or what they were? So, from my days as a theistic Satanist, I was told we had to take this earth in order to launch a war against God and against heaven, to take heaven. Now, at the time I thought this is a bit of a pipe dream scenario, but it may be possible, it may be plausible at best. And I'm thinking, how are you going to take the earth, And yet, I see these things happening now, and I realise, as though at first you don't recognise when the earth is taken, you don't recognise hell on earth, so to speak, that these things will be implemented slowly, like the frog in the pot. Put the frog in a pot of water, then slowly heat it up until you boil it to death. And when you look at it, you got more and more people saying they're gay, more and more people becoming transsexual, more and more people becoming pedophiles. The police may say, oh look, we've busted all these pedophiles, and is it due to good police work? I would say in some part. But the fact that more and more pedophiles are being busted indicates that more and more pedophiles are coming into being. Because when you look at gays, transsexuals, they would only be a certain percentage of any population at any given time. Yet the likes of pedophiles is also increasing because there are more and more offenders and more victims. And, I could go on more and more about this. But in relation to pedophilia, when I was a theistic Satanist, I looked at infiltrating the Catholic Church. Now, would I have committed, pedophile attacks, against children? Ultimately, in Satanism you obey and you don't question, you just obey. So, yes, I would have attacked children that came under the care of the church. As I was once told, that the church, especially the Catholic Church, but the church, the institution had to be attacked. Don't worry about rubbishing Jesus. You don't have to, because his followers would do that for us. And when you look at what Christianity is associated with these days, yes, it does seem this is happening. But the institution of the church had to be the priority over just attacking Jesus. And this is what the pedophilia was all about. Am I saying that all the pedophiles are theistic Satanists? No, by no means. A lot of people just grubs, just perverts. And the Catholic Church has such a problem now. Let's say I had contact with someone who is associated with the church, and I was asked, am I Catholic? I said, no, I'm not a Catholic. And this person said, I will not ask you to become a Catholic because I don't know what I would be converting you to if I was going through the mainstream retail arm of the church, because when you look at it, some priests do try and do the right thing. They try to live by what Jesus taught. But some of them, it's just a job. It's just somewhere to hang out until something better comes along. And this person told me, we have a rotten pope. There is no doubt about that. And the percentage of good priests in the Catholic Church now is said to be 10%. 10% are the ones who try to live the lives as Jesus taught, but 90% are just perverts, people just hanging out until something better comes along, something that will give them more money and more power. And indeed, in Australia, there's a radio station called Voice of Charity, which is an Arabic English language Maronite radio station. And I was listening to a program, and the person who was on there said only 7% of Catholics actually live life according to the teachings of Jesus. The rest of them are nominal Catholics. It's just identity politics. So, the things that I was taught 25 years ago, more than that now, are coming true. The things I thought were not really possible but maybe plausible are coming true. These things I was told about. And I just want you to know that if other people tell you these things, that they're not crazy. I mean, some people may think I'm crazy, but I'm just telling you what I've encountered. So I'll just leave it here. Yeah.